Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I am your host, Devin, joined by my co-host, Jaden, and we are stoked to have another show talking all things football. We got some new segments coming up in today's episode, but you know we got some old reliable ones. Let's get into Pregame Talk. Jaden, what do you got for us today?
So today's Pregame Talk, I think is going to stump you a little bit. We got, who do you think is the most untouchable player in the NFL, excluding quarterbacks?
Okay. So this is kind of, obviously, I thought when you said that for a second, I thought it was like a quiz or something. This is more so my opinion.
It's your opinion, but
who is the most?
I know it's going to get you thinking. Because
Yeah,
everything you
untouchable?
give, I'm going to give you a counter. I'm going to try to counteract it and make you think about it.
Who is the most untouchable? Okay, so outside of quarterback, obviously that list would be.
Let's start with the most important positions,
and that's edge and tackle.
I'd say it has to be one of those two, in my opinion.
I think one. No, I'm not going to start with more underrated ones. I'm going to just go with the big guys. It's hard to say that this guy is quote unquote untouchable because obviously his team is not great, but I think this player is one of the greatest players that I have ever watched play football live. Obviously, I'm only 23 years old, just recently turned 23 a few days ago now, but he's one of the few players that I've seen live where I'm like, this guy can dominate an entire game, and he's already one of the greatest players at his position ever, and it's Myles Garrett. Obviously, the Browns are not very good, so it's like they necessarily shouldn't keep him untouchable. If a trade came upon, sure, you can take it, but he is so unreal. It's like you want him on every single team in the NFL. Every single team would love to have him. They'd give up everything in their arsenal to get a player like him. So Myles Garrett, 100%.
You think that's number one?
I think defensively, and I'm kind of looking at this more broad, because again, it's hard to say, oh, the Browns have an untouchable, because like if someone offered 4 first-round, 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, I would accept it in the Browns situation. But I'm more so looking at it like if I had an NFL team, these guys you're not getting from me, and I'm trying to win a Super Bowl type. I think
the way you might have to look at it is like not like. Obviously, Myles Garrett's the best. I mean, he might be the best player in the NFL right now, but
yeah, he's unreal.
He's 29. He's going to be turning 30. Like, if you were another team, would you give up that much to get him though? At the end of the day, and do you think the Brown? Like, I feel like you almost have to go a younger guy, even though he might necessarily not be, the best at his position right now. Yeah, we just seen Michael Parsons, who's younger, go for less than that. And obviously there's more factors into it, but I think age could have been a little bit of I don't know. I don't want to use
because I also think like if I'm the Ravens, now obviously they wouldn't trade interdivision, but if I'm the Ravens and it was like, hey, you give me 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, I would 100% do that. No matter what age he is right now. I mean, he's still in his prime. It doesn't like there's like no ounce of slowing down in his game. He is still at the peak of his powers, dominating. No, obviously they don't. But I'm just saying, like, because you're saying like, oh, should age matter?
You're saying for I think trading for them.
Yeah, I think age is. I wouldn't look at age at all with Myles Garrett. He's still unreal.
But realistically, though. From the Browns side, obviously it would be a team that's looking to contend. Like, how valuable are those first-round picks going to be?
See, but in the NFL, it's not like an NBA where it's like if you're picking in the 20s, you can still get studs.
It's still different. Like it's guaranteed you're going to be picking late. Like you're not getting an early first-round pick. You could get good players, but I mean, there's players every year in every draft, multiple players that are picked in the first round that contribute to nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
And that could just come down to how, how much they like the upcoming draft classes and things like that, and
Yeah,
how
that's
much
true.
the owner believes in his front office in picking the right guys.
Yeah, I think if to get off of Micah, to get off of Myles Garrett now, because I think that would be one of my number ones. As far as defensively, I mean, we were just talking about the Ravens. Kyle Hamilton. I think Kyle Hamilton is a top 5 defensive player in the NFL, and he plays safety. You just don't get those. You just don't get those in the NFL too often. And he's what? Kyle Hamilton now is probably 24, maybe, already a multiple time All Pro. And I think legitimately can win Defensive Player of the Year this year. That's how good he is. I think that's a player that's really high on my untouchables. As far as tackles, because I'll leave it at those two on defense for now. As far as tackles, obviously Penei Sewell. Who else comes to the top of my head? Tristan Wirfs is up there for me because that Bucs offense looks a lot different when he's on the field. But someone that's a little more, Joe Alt for sure, 100%. Someone that's a little more underrated for me and who came to mind immediately for some reason, but obviously I didn't want to be the first name that I said. Christian Darrisaw is one of the more underrated just players in the league for how much value he provides to that Vikings offense. And that's someone that I think is a cornerstone for a team. And if I was on a competitive team, he's on one of my untouchables, which the Vikings are. They're a competitive team year in and year out. He would be on my untouchables, along with his teammate Justin Jefferson, who I think could also be on that list. But it's so difficult with receivers because Justin Jefferson has shown that he is quarterback proof, but you do need a lot of success around you to be successful as a receiver. You need the offensive line to hold up. You need a quarterback that's able to get it to you. And obviously you need defenders that can't rock with you. And nobody in the NFL can with Justin Jefferson. So 2 players from the Vikings would be up there.
You think Darrisaw's that high up, even with all his injury stuff? He's missed a lot of games in his career.
I think so. I just think that
he is great. I don't disagree. But you think if somebody came knocking, but that's the thing. Who's gonna come knocking for Darrisaw? With his injury history. So this is just unrealistic trade, offers we're putting together. But you think
it's true?
I don't know.
I just think, and I get it. Obviously, they were playing a banged up team, but Christian Darrisaw's first.
And it's when he's out there, he's great. So it's yeah.
And they won 48-10 in his first game back. Obviously, other factors go into that, but their offense took a big jump, and obviously their defense, scored 14 points themselves.
The biggest jump was probably a change of quarterback, but it's a conversation for another day.
But yeah, man, I Christian Darrisaw would definitely be very high for me on the tackle list. Like I said, he's one of the more underrated players. Like I say, when I say his name, you don't immediately say, "Oh, really? Like him?" But I really believe that he has that much value to that Vikings offense and to any offense he would be on. So I think those are some of the players. I'm trying to think just off the top of my head.
What about Creed Humphrey? One of the better centers in the league. I'd like to say Frank Ragnow, but obviously he's retired now.
Right.
But I'd say pretty comfortably center's the second most valuable position on the offensive line. Way over guards.
I could agree with that because when you have a center that is that good, you notice it when you look at the past teams of the Eagles and the Lions and how dominant their offensive lines were, led by, Hall of Fame caliber centers, even though Frank Ragnow most likely won't get there because of the early retirement. Those guys.
It also allows the guards to go and give help to tackles if you don't have, you're not strong at tackle.
It's true.
If the center can hold up on his own in one-on-ones.
it's bigger than just blocking, you know what I mean? Like calling out the defense, what they see, you know, adjustments at the line. Like when you have a center that's able to almost take over the game in a way with things like that, it provides so much more value. So I think Creed could definitely be on that list, definitely lower as far as offensive players and offensive line, just because obviously the tackles would be higher, but he is by far and away the best center in the game. So he would be number one as far as interior linemen. But I think those are the players that I would want to highlight. I'm trying to sit here and think of any other tackles or receivers, or because it's almost like a.
What about a corner? You think PS2 is untouchable?
That's tough. I think he could be. I think 100% a defensive player of the year at corner. I mean, obviously the best corner in football, probably a top 5-ish to 7-ish defender in the league.
I mean, we're seeing corners be more get value. I mean, corners have always kind of had decent value. Now that I think about it, you could look back multiple years and see corners taken high, but I mean, it's kind of, understated how valuable it is to just have a corner, that can lock down an entire side of the field.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
exactly.
That's what I was about to say. Like a Christian Gonzalez, Sauce Gardner.
Yep, those are some other names I was going to mention.
A couple years ago.
It sucks that he went out with his injury too, but yeah, I definitely think corners could be on that list. I think PS2 would probably be the only one that I would deem as untouchable as far as the corner. I guess we can, if we're just going positions, I would probably go PS2 in the corners. As far as safeties, I think it's Kyle Hamilton and Xavier McKinney. Linebackers.
But he's already switched teams.
Yeah, but he wasn't this good on the Giants. He is, True. He is. It's him and Kyle Hamilton in a league of their own. He is unreal, especially when that Packers defense was not good last year, and he was holding them together by himself. And then you see him still making plays on their defense this year when they're like the best in the NFL. He's unreal. One of the more underrated players in the league. Linebackers, I think it's
play on Sunday though.
True, but it happens. Kyle Hamilton made a lot of bad plays against the Lions this past night, but he's still one of the best players in the league in my opinion.
What play I'm talking about, right? Like potentially
I think so.
Winning play.
Yeah.
Before half when he picked off the ball on fourth down, like 40 yards down the field, when it would have been a lot smarter than just pat it down or something.
Yeah, I saw that interception.
But yeah, keep going.
I think linebackers. And see, this is the tough part. Like, I would like to say like a Fred Warner is untouchable. Obviously, he's the best in the game. But is he really? Like, if an offer came, are you accepting that? Zach Bond as well.
I don't know if any linebacker is untouchable. It's such an important position, but also like, I don't know if that can be that untouchable.
And then as far as defensive line, Myles Garrett, even though Micah Parsons did just get moved, I think the Cowboys are the only team in the league that would move a player like that. Maybe the Raiders, when you look at their history. But I think Micah would be on that list, especially with how much he's changed that Packers defense. Damn, bro. Even another Bronco, Nick Bonito, is different, bro. He's unreal. He's took it to a whole nother level this year, and he was amazing last year. So he's really close on that untouchable list. Interior defensive lineman like Dexter Lawrence, I love, but I don't know if he's untouchable at this moment. I think that's it. I think there's really only like 2 untouchable edge rushers, and then there's a lot that are like really close. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I think you have a ton of tackles that you could name. Isaiah. Why did I just brain fart right now? What is the Lions? What am I saying right now? What is the Lions tackle?
Penei Sewell.
What is wrong with me? Why did I just say Isaiah? I don't know who I'm thinking of right now. Panay Sewell,
I think you're thinking of
Tristan
Rogers.
Wirfs, maybe. That was a crazy brain fart. Panay Sewell, Tristan Wirfs, Creed Humphrey, Christian Darrisaw, as I mentioned. I'm trying to think. I mean, Lane Johnson would for sure be on this list, but just a little too up there in age. I mean, Jordan Mailata could be on this list. I'm going to throw Jordan Mailata on this list, even though he is, I think, older. I think even though you look at him as being younger in this league, I think he's probably 28 or 29 maybe now, because I know that he played rugby. I think Jordan Mailata would probably be on that list for me. And then receivers, like, it's tough to say a receiver or a running back or a tight end is untouchable just because it's like you see when you put so much money and value into those positions, it hurts your team not being able to invest in the other positions. So I think as much as I'd want to put a Jefferson or a Chase or a Neighbors in an untouchable, I just don't think I can. And yeah, I think those would be my players that I would deem as untouchable in the league right now, obviously outside of quarterback.
All right, fuck it. Who's the most untouchable quarterback? Number one.
I mean, it's got to be Mahomes. It just has to be 100%. I think it'd go Mahomes, Allen, Lamar. I mean, you'd probably say Jaden Daniels. Then you'd maybe go like Herbert. I think is my top 5 off the top of my head. Yeah, right. Here you go. I think Burrow would be a little bit lower than them solely off of the injury concerns. Not talent at all. Talent-wise, he's up there with the big 3 of Mahomes, Lamar, and Allen, 100%. But just looking at his injury history, I think he'd be just maybe a little bit lower than some other guys. Maybe he'd still be above Herbert, but you could have some people argue that they'd take Jaden over him, even though Jaden, I guess, just went down with an injury. So
forgot about Herbert. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I might have Herbert at 4.
Yeah, so I think those would be the top 5 quarterbacks, with Herbert, depending on how you view his injury history, being in that mix.
Gotta put Tua up there.
All right. Yeah. Tua might be the most touchable quarterback in the league. Pause. My goodness, I can't even say that. He might be the most untouchable.
You would
as
take
far
Tua
as like
on your
no
team
one
right now.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'd rather suit up. I'd rather put that helmet on right behind me and go play quarterback.
Tua or Aiden O'Connell.
What are you doing, bro? Oh my gosh! No,
you could factor in. You could factor in contract.
I mean, 100%. I would probably just go Aiden. We're gonna lose games. We're gonna get a top pick, and I don't have to live with Tua being my quarterback because no one will.
All right, I got a good one. No contract, no nothing, like none of that involved. Would you rather have Tua right now, knowing everything you know, or Shedeur Sanders with whatever his potential is?
Why do you do this, bro? I just hit the speed meme IRL, bro. Shedeur or Tua? I think I'd go Tua. No, I wouldn't. I think
let's not forget a couple months ago you wanted to go Shedeur at 1.
Yeah,
number 1 overall.
I was falling for the hype, man. I think I'd go Shedeur, factoring in the contract.
No, it's the contract does not matter. They make the same amount of money.
You said they didn't. Okay, then I would go. What am I locked into this player for a year?
You got 15 years. No, I'm joking.
All right, bro.
5 years. 5 years, both on rookie contracts.
Give me Shedeur. Because I don't know. Obviously, you've seen it in preseason. There's a big concern. But at the end of the day, Shedeur could get better. I think Tua's done. I think Tua hit his peak, and he's out of here, unfortunately. So I'd go Shador.
You don't think a new, like a new that's what I'm looking for, like a new scenery would kind of unlock more for Tua? Because it's not like this is Tua at his peak. We've seen Tua be better.
Yeah, but it's like it was never a thing where it's like, oh, he's looking like a Justin Herbert or this or that. He's looking like
there was conversations.
Yeah, and I never.
You were having those conversations.
Yeah, here you go, just throwing me in there.
Those were legitimate conversations on Twitter
by one person on Twitter because he called him a social media quarterback and thought Tua was better, and then there were people that were agreeing. One of the worst times in NFL Twitter history, but. It's like even at his peak, it was in a Mike McDaniel offense where he really only had one primary
pre-washed Mike McDaniel, by the way.
Right. And it's like it still was ugly. That's why people didn't like Tua, except Dolphins fans who thought that he was the answer. And now they see that he's not, unfortunately. But yeah, a little bit of a ramble there after the pregame talk, but good conversations nonetheless. Let's get into the new segment of these episodes. That it's going to be every single week, something that I'm bringing. And it's going to be, instead of the Defender of the week, it is going to be the Devender of the week. I'm going to be highlighting a defender every single week. I'm going to be trying to target more underrated players. I'm not going to try to give this out to a Myles Garrett or a Micah Parsons or so on and so forth. I'm going to try to find players that, don't get the recognition and give them the Devender of the week. And this week, to no surprise, Isaiah Rodgers. We mentioned him a little bit earlier in the podcast accidentally, but this man just had one of the greatest games ever recorded. He had an 87-yard pick six, a 66-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. He forced 2 fumbles. He allowed 1 reception for 2 yards. He had 2 pass breakups, one of them being against T. Higgins, who I believe is 5 or 6 inches taller than him, in the end zone, a jump ball that he prevented, and he allowed a 2.8 passer rating when targeted. And this is the best part about this. Isaiah Rodgers achieved the first ever perfect graded game in PFF history, a 99.9. Unreal stuff from a guy that has switched around from team to team the past few years. And to have a game like this, I get it. It was against Jake Browning. But there's a lot of players in the NFL who have played against Jake Browning and never had a game close to this. There's a lot of players that played against worse quarterbacks than Jake Browning and never had a game like this. So an unreal outing for Isaiah Rodgers. Shout out to all the people who picked up Vikings defense this week in fantasy. Unfortunately, I picked up the Falcons defense, and that did not go so well.
Hey, man, 5 points ain't no pushover.
I don't know how it wasn't negative. That's all I'm going to say.
Because the defense honestly did not play that bad. They only gave up 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and
true.
A bunch of field goals.
Michael Penix Jr. did throw a pick six. I forgot about that. So I should have started Panthers defense. Who would have knew? But anyway, back to Isaiah Rodgers. Unreal game. He wins the first ever Devender. I don't know how I should say that. Devender or Devender? I think I'm going to do Devender. So it's like, I'm pronouncing the Dev part, obviously, with my name being Devin. The Devender of the week, Isaiah Rodgers. So that's pregame talk. That's Defender of the week out of the way. We might as well get into the meat of the bones, and that is the surprises and disappointments of the season so far. I got 2 surprises, 3 disappointments, but the 2 surprises are kind of like, it's kind of multiple things in one. You'll see what I'm talking about once I get into it. But I think I'm going to start with a disappointment before I get into my surprises. And my first disappointment are the sophomore year players, and specifically the juniors. Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., and Michael Penix Jr. These are players that obviously we're only 3 games in, we're overreacting, but these are players you wanted to see continue their strides from their rookie year. Obviously, Michael Penix, we didn't get to see a ton of, but you believed, with a full offseason being named the starter, with an offense that, has a ton of talent, you wanted to see him take that next jump and be like, all right, this is it. This is our guy. This is, shaping up to be a potential top 12, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And it's not looking pretty through 3 games. Obviously, you're still seeing flashes, but you have a lot of lows at the same time. And when you lose to a team like the Panthers 30-0, that's not what you want to see. Not what you want to see at all, especially when you believe that you had the much better team going into it. When you had your defense put on that type of performance last week, and despite Michael Penix Jr. not having a great game against the Vikings, it didn't matter because their defense was so dominant. You wanted to see him come out against a lesser defense in the Carolina Panthers and kind of show up and show out and have that, Michael Penix game. 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's getting posted all over social media. Drake London goes for 2 himself. And we just haven't got that yet. Again, only 3 games in, but you want to see significant growth from them. And again, like I mentioned with the 2 receivers, it seems like it's mental more than anything. We obviously know all 3 of these guys are super talented, and I still do have heavy belief that all 3 of these guys will be great in the NFL. But it just seems like a lot of them are in their head, specifically the receivers. I mean, just a lot of drop passes, a lot of shaky route running, not getting to the top of their route fast enough. It's odd because both of these players looked really good last year, specifically Brian Thomas Jr., and then you look at Marvin Harrison in college as a consensus almost number one player, but for sure the consensus number 1 receiver. And for him to come in the NFL and just really just look completely different. We obviously know the NFL is a completely different game than college, but it's just not at all what people expected. And it's very, very odd to see. And from Brian Thomas Jr.'s perspective, I really hope he's able to get his confidence back, because right now it just does not look pretty, man. It does not look pretty at all. So I'm hoping that the juniors, the sophomores are able to get it back going. But so far through 3 games, a lot of disappointing fans, and myself included, because I was hoping to see some big years out of all 3 of these guys, but it just hasn't been there yet. So that's going to be my first disappointment of the year. And my first surprise is kind of a doubleheader. It's the fact that after 3 games, Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert are legitimate MVP candidates. Now, it's not a super shock that Justin Herbert's in there, but I think it still is at the same time, because I think going into the season, if you were to ask people where Herbert would be, I mean, he'd be like borderline top 10, I would say, just off the top of my mind. And for the fact that Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert to maybe both be top 5 right now, I mean, both their teams are sitting at 3-0. Daniel Jones right now has a 71 completion percentage, 800 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He leads the NFL in yards per attempt at 9.3. He has a 111.7 passer rating, and he also is tagged along 3 rushing touchdowns. And Herbert, on his side, 66.7 completion percentage, 860 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 105.5 passer rating. 2 quarterbacks playing amazing football. I was going to say playing the best of their career, but Herbert has had a lot of good years. I'm not sure if this is his peak year yet, but it's shaping up to be. I mean, him and that receiving core is absolutely playing lights out. And as far as Daniel Jones, I mean, that Colts offensive line and run game is looking like it did in 2021. I mean, we're getting flashbacks to 2021 Jonathan Taylor. And it might not be 2021 anymore. We might start referring to it as 2025, Jonathan Taylor, because he's been on another level. And so is Daniel Jones.
I just want to give a quick shout out to the receivers too, though. The Colts, their receivers have literally been playing out of their mind. 100%. I don't think they have a drop yet this season.
Yep. 100%.
Like, they are catching everything. Like Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
Like, they are deep at receiver. And obviously that's helping Daniel Jones out a lot. But, I mean, that's not to take away from Daniel Jones because he's playing great too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure they get a little bit of praise.
Right. And I think the one thing you can take away from this is draft first-round tight ends, and they will change your offense unless, you're the Bears and you don't want to play your, 10th overall pick? A little bit odd to me. But, yeah, that'll be my first surprise. And as I said, it's kind of a doubleheader, but it's almost a tripleheader because not only is Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert playing great, but also their teams specifically. And the Colts are the team that is shocking to everybody. I think everybody knew that this team could be good, but this team is better than anybody expected. As far as net yardage this year, the Indianapolis Colts are number 1. By a comfortable amount as well, with 439. That is 41 more yards than the Buffalo Bills, an elite offense that everyone knew was going to be great coming into the year. And the Colts have been better than them in that metric, obviously. But yeah, it's unreal what these two quarterbacks and two teams have done to start the year. 3-0 for both of them.
I just want to pose a question real quick.
Uh-huh.
He kind of interrupted. I mean, that has to do with the Colts. What if, like, Daniel Jones has, like, a Sam Darnold type of year? Like like Sam Darnold did last year? What is Anthony Richardson's future?
That's a weird question. It's a tough one to answer because I think there is a world where the Colts do keep a Daniel Jones, but it's also hard to say because I can't tell what the minds are of the Colts staff. Obviously, they want to win now. That's the whole reason why Daniel Jones is even playing right now, because they didn't want to keep on going through this, struggles with Anthony Richardson at quarterback where you got to go through the development. You're going to have some messy games. They went with the more ready quarterback that's got a lot of games under his belt and has had years where he has played some good football. But obviously Daniel Jones has never played anywhere close to this. But it is interesting because I think there is a world where Daniel Jones does stay as the Colts quarterback and the Colts move on from A-Rich. And I'm not sure what they could get for him. I don't believe it would be a whole ton. They could still get some solid picks, I think, and even a player in there.
Didn't they trade up for him, too? Or am I tripping?
I don't think so. I think they had the 4th. I know the Texans traded up in that draft, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the same draft that I'm thinking of. Because it was Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson.
They didn't, no.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a crazy spot. I've heard some people say, imagine if the Rams were to trade for him and let Sean McVay get a hold of that talent and let him sit behind Stafford. That would be a crazy scenario where I could see Anthony Richardson actually panning out in the NFL. But as of right now, it's really tough to say because Daniel Jones is playing some great quarterback or is playing some great playing great at the quarterback position is all I'm saying.
So if you were the Colts, though, what would you do? Daniel Jones has a Sam Darnold type of season. And you can't really compare it to the Vikings because they let Darnold walk because we didn't see anything of McCarthy. I'm sure they're probably regretting it a little bit. But anyway, they know they've seen a bit out of Anthony Richardson, and he's also not injured. He just straight up got benched.
Yeah, I think as far because it's easy to look at it like, oh yeah, maybe Anthony Richardson is sat behind for another year and he's fully ready to go, but a lot of these people on this staff are coaching for their jobs. That is the reason why they make these decisions. So if I have a quarterback that is playing at this level, and he's not playing, I mean, I can't say it like that. They've played the Dolphins, Broncos, and Titans. I was going to say, I can't say he's not playing the worst teams. I mean, the Broncos are definitely a better team, but, the Titans and Dolphins are not so hot. But he's playing great football. And at the end of the day, if my job on this staff is to win games, and I have a quarterback that is playing at an elite level and is winning me games, I just have to go with that. No matter what I believe and want Anthony Richardson's potential to be, he's just too inconsistent and is simply not pro ready yet at this time. We knew this was a player that did not have a lot of snaps at quarterback under his belt coming into the league. I mean, even dating back to high school and college, just simply did not have a lot of snaps at quarterback. And it's a huge risk, man. It's a huge risk to take.
And he also never has had an elite season at any level of his life. I remember seeing a post, even high school, college, he's never had an elite season at any of those levels, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah. A player that could go number 4 based off physicals, something that, you can get by with in high school and college and dominate. And he really is never had an amazing season at any of those.
It's the Cam Newton and Josh Allen effect. Well, I can't say Cam Newton, but more so Josh Allen. I was just saying build-wise. But it's the Josh Allen effect where you draft a quarterback solely off of traits and just believe that you can develop him as a passer. And it's tough to do in this league, man. It's not easy being a quarterback. It's one of the hardest positions in all of sports, arguably the hardest position in all of sports. And I get it. You get an unreal athlete at that, like quarterback. It's hard to pass up on because you start thinking what if we can just develop him into just a solid passer with that athleticism, he would be a good quarterback. I mean, if you just make him a 6 out of 10 passer with that amount of mobility and size and strength and arm talent, he would be a good quarterback.
Are we saying passer as in accuracy or just everything that comes with that?
I would say
he's
everything.
Also just I don't know. It's more than just his accuracy.
I get what you're saying. I would just say overall as a passer, if you gave him a 6 out of 10 as a passer, he would be a good quarterback in this league with all of his other traits. But he's just not there. And he hasn't really shown a whole lot that convinces me that he can get there. So if I'm the Colts, I think I would stick with Jones, and I think I would just bite the bullet on Richardson. And sometimes you just got to do that. It's a lot easier to go that way, especially when you're winning games like this. So that's what I would do. So that's going to be my first surprise: Jones, Herbert, the Colts, and the Chargers. My next disappointment is one that happens every single year, but obviously it's still very disappointing. And it's the amount of injuries that have already happened this season. I mean, look at this list of notable names to go down with an injury: Nick Bosa, Joe Burrow, James Conner, Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, Dre Greenlaw, Brock Purdy, Aaron Jones, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Justin Fields, Jalen Johnson, A.J. Terrell, Xavier Worthy, Christian Gonzalez, Austin Eckler, Deron Bland, George Kittle, Elijah Vera Tucker, Christian Kirk, Joe Mixon, Caleb McGarry. And that's not even all of the names. And those are not all players that got injured specifically this season. These are players even that got injured, a few weeks before the season, or players that have just missed significant time. But it's already happening. We're only 3 weeks in. And I just, what was that, 20-something names? And these are not just regular players. Some of these are superstars. Some of the best players in the league: Joe Burrow, CeeDee Lamb, Christian Gonzalez. These are all pro level players. And it happens year in and year out. And I know that it's a part of the game, but it's obviously still disappointing because you want to see these players ball out. You want to see them stay healthy their entire career. And it's tough, especially when you consider some of these injuries are more significant. a Nick Bosa with an ACL, a Joe Burrow with a turf toe, a Najee Harris, who was it? Austin Eckler, both with Achilles. You want to see these players on the field, and it's disappointing every single year when we get this amount, taken out of the game due to injuries. And it's unfortunate. You never want to see a player go down. And like I mentioned, it is 100% a part of the game, but it still is not easy to see these caliber of players go down year in and year out. So obviously injuries are always going to be a disappointment every year, but this year and specifically because the amount has been crazy. So that's my second disappointment. And my second and last surprise is again another kind of two-parter. One, it's the Packers defense being this good already. Because when they traded for Micah Parsons, again, even myself and a lot of people included, understood that this defense still had a lot of holes that concerned a lot of people. You look at the interior defensive line and you looked at their secondary. And the fact that both of those positions have stepped it up immensely is unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal the play that they are getting from those players at that position. And I don't want to say it's all on Micah Parsons because obviously it's not. A lot of this is just internal growth from these players. But the fact that you can trade for a player like this and your defense goes from 0 to hero pretty much immediately, it's unreal. It's crazy to see. The Packers are 100% a contender in this league, despite what my other surprise is, and that's them losing to the Browns. That's one of the worst losses that you're going to see this year. I mean, I had Packers fans all over my timeline talking about that might be the worst loss that they've seen as a Packers fan. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing to lose a game like that. So, again, a two-parter. I can't believe the Packers defense is this good already, and I'm excited to see what they can do come January and February. And also, I cannot believe that they just lost to, I can't even call the Browns the worst team in the league anymore because it is 100% the Titans, but one of the worst teams in the league. So that's going to be my second and I guess third and fourth kind of surprise because I keep on doing these double ups. But my last disappointment that I want to get to is something that happens similar to injuries, something that happens every single year, and that is the media discourse around NFL players. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of people with these big platforms that are critiquing a lot of different NFL players, but not looking at the entire picture. And it's going to sound a little bit biased coming from me, but it started out with Ryan Clark, where he went viral on Twitter. And he quoted Ashton Genty saying, "When you got it, and it pops." Ashton Genty does not have that it factor. Now, I think when people have a platform like this, and this obviously came after the Raiders' second game, where a lot of people were calling for Ashton Genty to get more touches. It didn't feel like we were focusing him in the offense that much. And that's 100% true coming from a Raider fan. I think in both of the first games, I think he had under 7 carries in both of those as far as the first half in both of those games, he had under 7 carries. And you need to get a player like that the football. What people fail to realize, and especially platforms like this, is that the Raiders, and a lot of people knew this going into it, but the Raiders were not a suitor for Genty as far as their offensive line is not good. It's not good. And specifically their interior offensive line. So when you look at a player like Ashton Genty, who's marketed as this generational running back, he's the highest running back taken since Saquon Barkley, and we know what he's done in the NFL. When you have a player like that, and he has these performances to come out the year, a lot of people are going to look at him. Oh, he's overrated. He's a bust. He doesn't have it. He's not that. I want to say to you this one statistic, and it's not going to sound real at first, but it is 100% real. This is the percent of rushing yards to come after contact among all running backs with 100+ rushing yards this season. I'm going to repeat that. The percent of rushing yards to come after contact among all running backs. The lowest running back on this list is Jahmyr Gibbs. That means a lot. That means 31% of his yards are coming after contact. So a lot of the times, Jahmyr Gibbs is not even getting touched. And that makes sense. He's one of the fastest players in this league, one of the best running backs in this league. The player that is number one on this list is Ashton Jeanty. Jaden, can you guess what percent of Ashton Jeanty's yards come after contact this season? If you just had to guess. He's number one on this list. That's your hint. What would you guess?
What percent of his yards come after contact?
To put into perspective, Jahmyr Gibbs' percent of his yards after contact is the lowest on this list, 31%. What would you think Ashton Jeanty is?
Isn't it 100%?
It is 101%. 101% of his yards this season come after contact. Do you understand how unreal that is? And we have people talking about he doesn't have that it factor. As soon as he gets the ball, he has a defender right in front of his face every play. He does not have a single yard this season that has not come after contact. I mean, are we serious right now, people? It's unreal. And you have it going on with other players like a CJ Stroud. Don't get me wrong. CJ Stroud is not playing his best brand of football. But the offensive line that he's dealing with, one of the most important parts of a football team, the most important part outside of quarterback, your offensive line, is the worst in the NFL. It's a little bit hard to succeed. You know what I mean? You can look at a box score all you want. But watching the game is a lot different. And that's what 90% of these media players or media people don't do. They just go up there and they go up there for these clicks. And whatever pops, it pops. So yeah, Ashton Jeanty has a couple of bad games. CJ Stroud has a couple of bad games. Let's just go up here and overreact and start saying all these crazy things. It's unreal. I know it's every single year. I understand that all it is for clicks and people just like to hear themselves talk, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you have these young players in the game and you're not looking at the whole story. You're just taking it with a grain of salt. It frustrates me, man. And obviously it's getting under my skin a little bit more because it's a Raider. But it's so much more than just a box score. And I wish these media people actually watched football sometimes. So that's going to be my last disappointment. We'll get off the upset part of football, and we'll get into some exciting news for me specifically, and that's fantasy football. Your boy did come up with his first dub this week in mine and Jaden's league. Obviously, in my other league that I'm a part of, I was already 2-0, but I came up with my first dub, and it feels good, man. It feels good to finally not play a top 2, top 3 scorer. And I actually went. Now, I was the highest scorer this week. But it feels good to not play against someone else that put up 130 and 140. Like, it's nice. It's a nice change. So let me go back to this box score that I had. I had Caleb Williams, the quarterback 1 on my team. Even though we do 6-point passing, he was a quarterback 1 in any league, I'm pretty sure. Chuba Hubbard, who didn't do great, 9.6. But then Tony Pollard, who was a risky start for me.
How many points did Caleb Williams have?
In our league, 37.1. I don't think Lamar passed him, right?
He got close.
33, yeah. But, I mean, he still would have got outscored by Hurts. But Caleb Williams, quarterback 1. Chuba Hubbard, 9.6, respectable. Tony Pollard, as I mentioned, it was a risky start. I started him over Hampton, and Hampton went off, which is great for me because, I mean, I don't want to say it like this. Prayers to Najee Harris, but it does open up Hampton to get a more heavy workload. So I'm obviously not excited about the Harris injury, but I'm more so like excited to see what Hampton can do with a heavier workload. But I did start Pollard over him. I mean, he still gave me 13.9, respectable. Brian Thomas Jr. with another disappointing performance, but he did have that big catch at the end of the game. So hopefully he can start getting some momentum going forward into the next few weeks, and we can see that rookie Brian Thomas Jr. back on display. The wide receiver 1, the best pick in fantasy. Nah, I can't say that, but a really good pick for me in the second round, Puka Nacua, 22.8. Maybe one of the better waiver wire pickups of the year, Jawan Johnson, who is the tight end 2 right now with 3 consecutive double-digit points. DJ Moore, again, I also took a risk starting DJ Moore over Emeka Egbuka in my slot, and it paid off because Caleb Williams did find him for a touchdown, so I got double the points, which was nice. Rams defense with 7 points, and then my MVP, Chase McLaughlin, who put up 20 points for me as a kicker. And your boy dominated 141.8 to 92.5. We beat someone who was 2-0, and he had a really good team, by the way, but he had some unfortunate performances from a Malik Neighbors, Tet McMillan, things like that. So your boy squeezes out his first dub of the season, and I'm really excited going forward with this team. I really think we can go on a run here because the games that I was losing, again, it's not like I wasn't putting up. I put up 115 and 118, respectfully. And it's like, those are games that a lot of people win in a lot of instances, but I was just playing some of the higher scorers in the league. So just got a little bit unlucky. But as far as Jaden, I know you took your second loss in a row, and it was a close one. I thought that for a second it really wasn't because Jamison Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs came out the gate. I think Jamison Williams had two receptions. He only had 2 receptions, but his 2 receptions came on the first drive, and then also Jahmyr Gibbs capped that off with a touchdown. So I'm like, yeah, it's going to be rough to come back. But, I mean, Lamar did all he could for you to try to come through. But, I mean, are you a little bit nervous going forward after 2 losses, after being the highest scorer week 1? Or, like, what's your panic meter on the season?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm so done with fantasy football. This shit is stupid.
Yeah, bro. Oh my gosh.
Like what? It's just like I don't know, man. Like Brock. Like is Brock Bowers hurt or is he not? Like he just like is he just not getting thrown the ball? Like that's what's like pissing me off the most is watching Brock put up these under 10-point games. And it's like when I'm watching the Raider game, he's not even in the game sometimes.
Yeah.
Like what's his snap count at right now?
I think I don't have that off the top of my head, but I think it's a mixture. I know he got a lot more.
Or Geno just
game.
doesn't like fucking throwing him the ball. Is that what it is?
I think ultimately that is Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers. They eat up a lot of targets because I know Bowers snap. I mean, you saw what Trey Tucker did last game, the wide receiver 1, unreal. But I know Bowers did get a lot of snaps last game because Michael Mayer went out with a concussion, and he's probably going to be out for next week as well.
I didn't watch a lot of last game, but I watched a lot of the Chargers game. And it's like they're using him like a decoy a lot. Like they're putting him out in the flat. Like they're not having him run nothing where it's like he has a chance of getting the ball and getting yak. It's like he's catching the ball in the flat and just running out of bounds.
I think a lot of that has to do with Chip Kelly, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, where I don't like his play calling at all. But I think a lot of that has to fall on Chip Kelly. I do believe Brock Bowers will come along. He's still going to have multiple games this year where he comes through with, 6 to 8 catches and 100+ yards, but I'm just so fucking done with Calvin Ridley and the Titans, dude. Like I legitimately am gonna drop his ass, and I was so high on him coming into the season. Dude,
has yet to put up 10 points.
Yeah.
Like what? Like that shit just is pissing me off, bro. Like I'm so done with fantasy. Like why am I starting him over Michael Pittman, bro? Like why do I even do this? Like I don't know, man. Shit's annoying.
Yeah. It's a rough spot. And not to mention, I mean, Saquon Barkley also with a shitter. I mean, he had 18 and 17 respectively the first 2 weeks, but obviously not the same impact that he had last year. I mean, Lamar Jackson, you killed it with the Lamar Jackson pick, but just seems like it's always like one player for you, because even
and it's like Worthy, was supposed to have a good year this year, and we got Travis fucking Kelce doesn't know how to run a decoy route. Like the ball's not coming to you, dog. Move out the way. This is going to your 4-1 speed receiver. Like genuinely, just move out the way, and he just can't help himself, and he's got to fucking rip his shoulder off his arm, like. God, man, I can't wait till he fucking retires. And I love Travis Kelce, but that's the worst of it all. That's my 3rd round pick right there. Yeah. And he has not played a snap for me yet. He played 3 snaps for me. My fault. Yeah. And it's like, what is he even going to look like when he comes back? Like, I don't know.
Right. Because he'll probably come back same time. No, he's not.
That's just my whole. It's like receivers. Nah, he was like on the verge of playing this week.
Because I was
he's like
say,
full participation in practice
as Rashid, but
I think he's probably coming back next week. But still,
okay.
It's just my receivers, man. Like Garrett Wilson, he's had 2 good games. It's Calvin Ridley. I've started him every week, and it's done. I'm done with it. I got Quinshawn. He's looking good. I love Quinshawn Judkins. So Travis Hunter, he's no more in my flex. And I'm probably like Michael Pittman. I mean, I'm shipping Saquon. I'm telling you, come get Saquon off me.
Are you looking to
Saquon for Puka 1 for 1?
Yeah, you wish. I think you gotta to try and turn your season around. I think, unfortunately, you may have to try to sell somewhat high on a player while also moving one of your lower players, and just try to get 2 serviceable players back in a way. But it's tough. It's tough because I think the Bowers injury has changed a lot. I think he's definitely been he hasn't had the same route tree as he did that first game. I mean, 5 receptions for 100 yards. He was just down the field a lot more that first game, and it just has not been the case the last 2. So I always thought that they should have just fully rested him when he was injured, but they decided not to. So that's definitely took a dip for sure. But
he's got that fat-ass knee brace on, too. I know that's messing him up from running full speed.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't. He didn't just fully rest.
Fucking Gronk, like
yeah. It's rough times out here, but I mean, we're both 1 and 2 now. Obviously, getting it both different ways. Pause like a motherfucker. I started 0 and 2. Jaden started 1 and 0. I finally win my first, and Jaden's on a bit of a skid, but yeah, that was our league as far as fantasy football. I did win once again in my other league. I am now officially 3 and 0. Squeaked out a close one, 100.9 to 96.8. What's crazy is this guy beats me if he does not start Titans defense. For some reason, he started the Titans defense that went against Indianapolis, and it scored -4. If he just had a regular defense, he would have beat me. And it also would have been like with a little asterisk next to it, because I had the projected, actually not like points wise, but for a lot of people's consensus rankings, CeeDee Lamb and Malik Neighbors were the wide receiver 1 and 2, and I have both of those on my team, and they combined for 3.3 points. CeeDee Lamb went out, I think, in the second quarter, I want to say. I know he went out originally, and then he tried to come back in for a play, and then he had to go out immediately. And then on Malik Neighbors' side, I mean, they just did not. Their game plan was, let's not throw to Malik Neighbors ever. Like, let's not even throw him like a pop screen pass just to get him involved. It was unreal. But I did have some big-time performers, Jalen Hurts with 4 touchdowns, Jordan Mason, who I drafted and it was so high on this year, and obviously with the Aaron Jones injury, that is looking out to pan out pretty well for me. Rome Odunze in my slot with a solid 15. So, yeah, I did have Mark Andrews on my bench, who, of course, has 2 catches the whole season, and then this game he goes off for 27. But yeah, I'm not too worried about. I think CD is going to go on IR, which is pretty tough. But I am 3-0. I do have Drake London on my bench, which hopefully this Falcons offense can turn it around and he can be a solid starter for me. I still obviously have Neighbors and Odunze that I really like, and obviously Jalen Hurts being one of the best quarterbacks as far as when it comes to fantasy. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good in both leagues. I'm feeling like a winner, and I'm ready to get to this next week. And speaking of getting to this next week, let's get into our Pickems. It's going to be the last thing we do before we wrap up this episode. No off the field today, just nothing much that we really want to talk about. Oh, never mind. My boy Jaden came through. So we'll just get to this Pickems before we get to our off the field. Last week, I want to say it was the same thing that happened the previous week. Not the exact same records, but same results as far as Jaden got 2 more picks correct than me. I think that puts me down 4 overall on the season, and it's starting to get nerve-wracking. I don't want to fall too far because it's pretty difficult to come back from that when you're talking about Pickems, because at some point I'm just going to have to literally start picking against him and hope that I can succeed that way. But here are our picks this week. You see them on the screen. I'm going to have Jaden's and mine's up as always. The primetime games are a little bit underwhelming this week. We have Seahawks, Cardinals, which it's 2-1 teams, so it's like you would think that's a good football game. It probably still will be, but I'm just not like super ecstatic for that. Jets, Dolphins, I'm not excited to watch that. Bengals, Broncos, I'm not excited to watch that. The only one that I'm really looking forward to is Micah Parsons dominating the Cowboys on Sunday night, which probably won't be a good game. The Packers might just stomp them.
You're forgetting about the other primetime game.
Oh, the Dublin game, right? Or Dublin? The Vikings versus Steelers?
You want to pronounce that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that's in Ireland. So
true.
I'm not sure how you want to pronounce that, but
yeah, I guess that'll be a cool game. You know, Carson Wentz versus Aaron Rodgers in 2017. This would have been peak, but in 2025, it'll be all right. Probably it'll probably be the second best. Maybe second best. That Seahawks Cardinals game could be good, but again, I'm just not like super ecstatic to watch it. But you know what we always got to do? We're looking at our locks and our underdogs. And I think as far as underdogs, I have the Panthers over the Patriots. I have the Bucks over the Eagles, and the Jets over the Dolphins, which is probably an underdog. I think those are the 3 that I have. I'm not looking at the Seahawks, maybe like the Cardinals are favored over them, and I'm going Seahawks. But I'm more so looking at like teams that I know for sure are probably favored by a decent amount. So Panthers, Bucks, Jets. I think when I looked at your locks, I think you're playing it a little bit safe this week. I don't think you have like a single like pick that where it's like the other team is like favored.
I have one.
Which one is that?
Jacksonville.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that. I wonder what the Niners are even favored by in that game. Probably like 2.5, maybe. I wouldn't assume it's that much. Let me see if I can pull up the line.
Let's say 4.5.
3.5. San Francisco by 3.5, which makes sense.
They've had all their games have been close this year. No.
Yeah, that's true. But we do have a decent amount of different picks. I think like 3 or 4 this week. So hopefully I can come through and pick those. But there is a lot of locks that I like this week. Hell, bro, I locked the Ravens over the Lions and they blew that, man. I can't believe the Ravens are 1-2, bro. I still like them as a Super Bowl winner. But as far as locks, Bills over the Saints, pretty easy. Even though the Texans are 0-3, I like them as a lock over the Titans. I think the Titans are definitely the worst team in football. And again, fire Brian Callahan immediately. I think so.
You're forgetting the meaning of a lock.
The Titans are that
like,
bad,
this is
man.
Like your life is on the line.
It is tough. Maybe I guess I wouldn't say a lock, but like I would bet money on this is what I would say. If you told me bet $100, I would bet $100 on this game. That the Texans
bet $100 Jeffrey Simmons goes ape shit on that offensive line.
Yeah, that's true. It could happen, but it could also not matter because the Texans' defense is also really good. I think the Bills are a lock, and honestly, you want to say the Lions. We took the Packers as a lock last week, and the Browns beat them. So it's like you want to say the Lions. I think the Lions will win, though. I think I could comfortably lock that just because their offense has really got it going. I guess maybe that Packers defense is really just that good. But I think the Lions are a lock for me. And outside of that, I don't think I really have any other locks. I'm confident the Bears will beat the Raiders. Crazy enough. I'm so over this season already. I kind of want to lock the Packers over the Cowboys, but I really can see a world where they pull it out.
Fuck this. I'm changing the pick.
Oh, which one are you switching out?
Take a guess.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
You said one word that just clicked in my mind a second ago. Not one word, but you said something that clicked and made me think about it.
I really don't know. I'm just gonna take a guess because I don't. For some reason, I can't think of what I just said and what would click. I'm gonna say. I want to be like, oh, now you're picking the Falcons, but I feel like that would be too easy. I'm gonna say the Eagles-Bucks game.
It's the Falcons. Because I can't be done with this season yet. We have no first round fucking pick this year.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in losing. We just win every game.
Yeah.
Let's go. About to go 15-2 now. There's nothing to look forward to with losing games. Like, why not just pick my team at this point?
Who did you guys traded that to the Rams, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. The Rams are so set, bro. My goodness, dude. And what's even crazy about that, I legitimately can see a world where the Rams could be contenders this year and be in the Super Bowl, and they have 2 first-round picks. They're really good. But yeah, I think those are all of our Pickems. I'm obviously going to have the updated records on the screen after 3 weeks going into week 4. Jaden has a pretty serviceable lead on me, unfortunately, but we're hoping to come back because especially after he just switched to Falcons, I have Washington, I have Carolina, I have Tampa Bay, I have the Niners, I have the Jets, which is 5. And I think that's it. Because you have Broncos, you have Cowboys, you have Ravens, you have
I do not
Rams.
Have the Cowboys.
Or not Cowboys, sorry, Packers. Yeah, I think those are only 5. I think it's Washington, or the Washington Falcon game. We have switched. Panthers, Patriots, Eagles, Bucks, Jags, Niners, and Jets, Dolphins are the 5. So hopefully I can go 5-0 and get this thing back on the road. If I'm able to do that, then I take the lead by 1, I want to say, but it'll be close. But yeah, those are our Pickems. Let us know what you guys think down below about those. And we'll finish it out with Off the Field. Jaden, what do you got for us to finish out this show?
All right. Off the Field is going to be a blind ranking. And this is going to be catered to you specifically.
Me specifically. All right. Let's see it. Let's hear it.
And this is going to be life experiences for you.
Life experience.
So,
okay.
At the first one we have is going to be board games with the family on holidays.
And this is what is
1
this
through
through?
5.
1 through 5. That's really high, bro. That's really high for me, bro. I fucking love playing board games with the family. Shit, bro. But I'd have to assume you're going to bring up like some embarrassing moments that you know of. I'm going to say...
I'm going to be honest, these are all good picks.
They're all good. Okay.
I shouldn't have said that, but...
Board games
all right, forget I said
family.
That. Forget I said that.
Board games with the family. It's either 2 or 3.
I was lying, by the way. These aren't all good picks. No, I'm joking.
All right. I don't think it's 1 for me. It's definitely not a 4 or 5 because this is like really high, bro. I look forward to this every single holiday. I'm gonna play it safe, I think, and go 3. I'm gonna go 3. Board games with the fam.
Next is... Wish I switched this one out now. All right, whatever. NBA 2K19.
NBA 2K19. The best 2K I've ever played. My favorite. The one that I have the most hours on. And I played a lot. I played a lot of NBA 2K19. Man. I mean, is that wrong of me to put that over playing board games with the family? I mean, bro, I put in a lot of hours on that game, dude. I love that game so much. 2K19. I'm trying to think what could even be on here, bro.
You're not going to guess it.
2K19. If you told me, would I rather experience 2K19 again, or would I rather like have a full year of being able to play board games with the family? You know what? I'm gonna be a family.
And this is assuming everybody's there.
Yeah,
you know, we got a big family and not everybody attends sometimes. This is packed house, you know, full house. We got everybody.
I'm gonna go 19. I'm gonna go 2K19 at 4 because I think peak memories with the board games I think is really good, and I also think like I've also enjoyed a lot of other 2Ks. Like even this year, like there have been a lot of good times on 2K this year. Like at the end of the day, board games memories that you just don't get those. So
all right,
yeah, I'll go 2K19 at 4.
Your childhood from the years 2011 to 2014.
Man, you're hitting right now, bro. You are hitting. I mean, those are some prime years. Bro. My goodness, bro. This might have to be 1, bro. This might have to be 1. 6th grade is one of my best years of my life. The amount of fun that I had, and I'm living way too much in the past right now, but the amount of fun that I had 6th grade, just being with my friends after school every day, going to a different person's house, going to Taco Bell for happy hour, playing football, basketball at the courts, literally right next to the school every single day. Like, bro, we used to have that park packed out, bro. Like with people like high schoolers coming through to play with us, all different people. Bro, that fake way might be 1, bro. I mean, that was like some of the. I'm putting it at 1, bro. Putting it at 1. I mean, that is like one of the best years of my life. I have to go. Do I want to go 1? It's either 1 or 2, bro. It's either 1 or 2. I think I'm gonna go I mean, if you told me I got to re-experience that as a kid, bro, I'm gonna risk it and go 1, bro. Those are some peak years.
Next, we have Prime Fortnite.
Fuck. Oh, it's not that bad because I think that specific year, even though that was like multiple years, that specific year of school and life was as peak as it gets, and Fortnite is also as peak as it gets. And I have unreal amount of memories, especially with this dude Jaden. I mean, some of the funniest like simple memories I remember is like posting on Snapchat like who wanted 2v2 in Playground when that mode first came out, bro. Like those are just peak memories that you don't get back, bro. But 100% Fortnite's got to go 2 because there's no way it's 5. So what is my 5 gonna be?
How confident are you with agreeing with this number 5 being at 5?
I mean, what I think my top 2 are like safe at 2, regardless of the position.
You think there's nothing I could say that you would want to change?
Off the top of my head, things that you could say that would take it over.
I'm just gonna go.
All right.
Experiencing the Batman for the first time.
That's a really good one, bro. In case you guys didn't know, I have the fucking Batman logo tatted on me. That's how much I love that movie, and that's how much I love Batman. I think it would have an argument to be 3, but I don't think it would be above those 2. So I definitely don't agree with it being at 5. I think I would have it at 3 in a re-rank. But I'm not super mad at it being at 5 because also 2K19, like I said, is my favorite 2K ever. One of my favorite games ever. He literally has
2K19 tatted on him.
No, all right. No, we're not going that far. But and then also, obviously, Board Games with the Fam is like one of the best experience that I have in life right now. And then the other 2 are 100% top 2, regardless of the order. So I'm actually not too mad at that. I'm not even going to put the years, just 6th grade, number 1, number 2, Prime Fortnite, number 3, Board Games with the Fam, number 4, 2K19, number 5, watching the Batman for the first time. I fuck with it. It's not a bad list. That's actually a really good off the field. I did not expect that, but that was good and that was fun. And that's going to be our episode. It's going to be the show. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed some new segments that we went over. Obviously got some fantasy football in there, went over our weekly Pickems as we always do, and even some off the field. Even though I didn't expect it, that was a ton of fun. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Make sure to also rate us 5 stars. And yeah, we're out. Peace.